Hey YouTube, even though Destiny's only a month away, Deej is still kind enough to drop some information on us, so let's take a look. In a recent interview, Deej stated that raids are something you need to complete in a timely manner, and that though there are checkpoints, they don't last forever, and he gave an example of a 3-month time frame, saying that if you play a raid and want to go back to it 3 months later and pick up from a checkpoint where you left off, that checkpoint ain't going to be there anymore and you have to restart. Now, I don't know how long these checkpoints last, but I like the possibility of being able to leave a raid if you don't have enough gear to finish the raid. But say you get halfway through and you realize you're stuck, you can leave, go get better gear, and come back. I think that's a nice touch. And in reference to the size of Destiny, Deej also stated that Old Russia was not even fully explored in the beta, and that there are level barriers in the form of super powerful enemies that you're going to need to be a high level to kill in order to pass through them to get to the next area. He's calling these things aspirational moments because if you can't beat them now, you're going to leave and come back and aspire to pass through those tough enemies later on. And there aren't just barriers in the form of super powerful enemies, there are also just doors. If you go onto the moon and pull out your ghost, he will open up doors that appear to be locked. I did not know this when I played the moon in the beta, but other people were able to get to extra areas simply by pulling out their ghost in front of a locked door and the door would open. So don't forget to pull out your ghost in front of any locked doors you see, regardless of where it is. We even got information on planets we have yet to explore in the PVE mode. These planets are Venus and Mars, and Venus was described as an explorable jungle with old academies from the Golden Age. So you're going to see a juxtaposition of crazy jungle and dilapidated structures, which should create a pretty interesting experience trying to find cover in the open jungle or super closed-in buildings. And to juxtapose the entire planet of Venus being a lush jungle, you have the entirely barren and dry sand wasteland that is Mars. There are both very large open areas where you can ride your sparrow on sand dunes, or you can explore the buried cities that used to be part of the Golden Age. These cities are buried completely and the tops of the skyscrapers are now ground level, so you will have to start at the top of these buildings and work your way down to what used to be street level. Now, to switch tracks from PvE to PvP, there are a total of 10 maps for Destiny's player versus player, which may or may not include the PlayStation exclusive content, which is known to be at least one multiplayer map thus far. What may end up happening is that PlayStation 4 owners will get 11 maps in the beginning, and Xbox One owners, Xbox 360 owners will only get 10. Of course, this content is only exclusive for a year, so you don't have to wait too long to get it, but a year is a decent amount of time to wait for it. And I'm going to skip talking about the PvP modes because I already made a video exclusively discussing them. So if you want to see what that is, go click the link ahead of you. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm just going to continue from here. And if you played any of the beta and if you got to play on the moon, you know that the Interceptor is a dangerous vehicle that was way overpowered, and it is now being controlled and is being refined for the final version of Destiny. It may be limited to 1 per map, and the damage for the rockets may be decreased. Maybe it's made to move even slower. There are changes to it, we just don't know what they are specifically yet. And that wasn't the only feedback. Bungie also listened and made the hand cannons more useful and pulse rifles more deadly. So, pulse rifles are getting a damage boost, maybe hand cannons are getting increased reload speed with a little bit of damage boost too, because hand cannons are fun as hell to use, but my god were they impractical. Deej also announced that Bungie was doing something that I had never heard a game company announce they were effectively trying to do before. Deej stated that Bungie is going to try and keep all the playlists evenly populated, or at least populated. Now, this doesn't seem like too pressing an issue because early on everyone's going to be playing every game type, but as time progresses it's going to get harder and harder to find matches in specific playlists. If you don't believe me, go on Halo 3 right now and try and play some Big Team Battle. There's about 60 people playing that. It's almost impossible to find a match. Now, I don't know how Bungie intends to keep the population even throughout all the playlists, but I am glad they are doing it because trying to find matches in Halo 3 anything other than Social Slayer is impossible, and I don't want to see that happen to Destiny's modes 5 years down the road, because I know I'm still going to be playing this game, and I hope other people will be, and I hope it's a balance between all the playlists. And one little thing to tack onto this PvP rant is that there are going to be maps in locations that have not been described yet. That is to say, there are maps for PvP besides the 4 planets we know of, those being Earth, Moon, Venus, and Mars, and I know the moon's not a planet, don't give me shit for it, I'm just saying it for continuity. So maybe these maps are going to act as a taste test for a planet we're going to see in a later expansion pack, who knows, but I'm glad we're getting to see other planets besides the main 4. And now to switch gears one last time into the topic of expansion packs. Now, these expansion packs are going to expand upon just about everything. There's going to be new stories to follow, new places to fight in, and good reasons to fight there. There's going to be new weapons, new gear, and new co-op events for you and all your friends to play. And if you don't buy an expansion pack, don't worry. Bungie's not going to leave you out in the cold, because Bungie is going to constantly add stuff to Destiny, whether it be limited time only missions or story modes, limited time events, or Crucible matches where you can get exclusive gear or exclusive content somehow. Bungie is going to keep Destiny alive regardless of whether or not you want to buy an expansion pack, and I like that. I like that they're not putting up a paywall. And just to give you guys a heads up about launch day, the game is going to launch 12 AM Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 AM Eastern Standard Time, and will have different launch times for different continents. But if you live on the East Coast, you will not be able to play at midnight. You will not be able to play it until 3 AM. So you have to keep in mind what time zone the game is going to launch at, and when that means you will be able to play. It's not launching 12 AM in every time zone, because that would be physically impossible. And that's it, guys. That's all I have for this one. So I would like to say thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, don't forget to click subscribe up in the corner, because it's free, it's fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.